Chapter 8. Day 2 of our visit. Talk about moving. Well, I did bring you some information because Terrence and I would like for you to have it. I had intended on giving it to you yesterday before you made it clear that you would really like to stay here. But when I told Terrence about it last night, he insisted I give you the information so you could have it. We realize it's your decision to make, but we at least want you to take a look, to know exactly what opportunities lie ahead in case you change your mind. Yeah, you never know what's up ahead, she agreed as I pulled out the folder. I showed her the information for the one assisted living facility in Kansas City I had narrowed down for her. I told her it was just like where she currently lives, except she would have her own room. I continued, "You would not have to live with anybody, and you can leave your belongings in your room because it would be safe. You would not have to carry anything around for fear of it being stolen. It is a safe place with 24-hour security where you would come and go as you please, just like you do here." I told her that some of the benefits were weekly housekeeping, laundry service, 3 meals a day, and medication management. The nurses come to your room to assist you with taking your medication. Mother seemed a little nervous when I mentioned the medication part. I felt it was because of what Donna had told me about the issues they had with her not taking her pills and hiding them under her mattress. All utilities are included except phone. However, we would provide a phone if you wanted one. This place would empty your trash and provide transportation if you need to run errands. They provide many activities and take the residents on outings, like ball games. They even have a chapel for religious services and a beauty shop on the campus. Mother asked, "They have a hairdresser right there?" "Yes, and if you didn't have the money, we would pay for it. We would make sure you had whatever you wanted. The room is not furnished, so we would have to go and pick out a nice bedroom set with a comfortable mattress and a television. You would have a private bathroom with a walk-in shower. The doctor, dentist, podiatrist, and psychiatrist are on site regularly. You would be able to get treatment and rehabilitation for your hip without having to leave the facility. They provide behavioral health as well as assistance with bathing and grooming for those who need it." Just then, a man walked out of the center room and through the lobby where we were sitting. He looked over at us. Mother jokingly said to him, "What are you being nosy over here for? What are you looking for?" When the man was out of sight, I continued, "This particular place has a couple of rooms open at this time. However, if you decide to move a year or 2 down the road, we would have to check and see if they have a room available at that time." Mother said, "Right." I jokingly said to her, "If you wanted to go home with us now, then they would have a spot for you today." We all laughed. Every once in a while, as I was talking about the facility, Mother would say, "Right." This made me feel like she was listening with interest and that she was okay with me continuing to tell her more. I felt like I had said enough, but I wished I had some pictures of the facility to show her. Erica found some pictures of it on her cell phone and showed them to her. As we looked at the pictures, Erica and I pointed out the beautiful dining area, the bedroom, and the private bathroom. She said, "Wow, that's nice, real nice. Oh boy." I haven't made up my mind yet. I want to go ahead and leave this information with you so you can take all the time you need to look at it and think about it. She reiterated, "That looks like luxury. I'm not ready for anything like that yet, but I'll give thought to it." As we were finishing our assisted living discussion, I told her, It would be nice if you lived in Kansas City because we are not always able to travel here to visit you. I assured her, if you were to move, you would still be in control of your own independence. We would not control your life. We would only be there for what you wanted us to be there for. This portion of our visit ended with her saying, I'll keep it in mind. Then we moved on to talk about other things. I told Mother that Terrence, Grayson, and Devin wanted to do a video call with her while Erica and I were there with her. I told her we had planned to do it Saturday if that was okay with her. She said it was okay and said 4 o'clock would be the best time for her. I reminded her that Erica and I were taking her out to eat at 1 o'clock on Sunday. She had forgotten, but she said she had wanted to go to Applebee's for a long time. After a revelation such as this, it was a no-brainer where we would be dining on Sunday. I asked her if there was anything she needed that we could bring to her while we were in town. She said, Do you really want me to tell you? Money. We all laughed. I told her we would give her some money before we left to go home. At that point, I realized that money was the best thing we could provide to her. The center counselor, Rashad, came out into the lobby at around 2 o'clock and asked me if I would go into the hallway to chat with him. The center was to close at 3 o'clock, so he wanted to have time to chat with me before then. I asked Mother if it was okay for him to talk to me. She said yes. He and I entered the hallway. He expressed that he was very happy to know Geneva had family who cared about her. He had a puzzled look on his face as he revealed to me that Geneva had never mentioned having children. He conducts group sessions with the residents, and she would often shy away from group discussions about family. I had already heard April and Donna say she never mentioned having children in the many years that they had been working with her. However, when he said it, I felt a sting in my emotions. How could my mother have lived in denial about having children for so many years? This caused me to open up and begin to talk. Rashad showed great care and concern as he listened to my finding mother's story. As I recounted my side of events, he remained silent, observing me and nodding on occasion to let me know he was paying attention. I told him details about how she left, how I searched, and how we recently reunited. I expressed how I had longed to find her and take care of her. I let him know that my ultimate purpose for being there was to woo her into moving closer to us, so I could provide for her the way I had always wanted to. He told me how amazing my story was and asked me a few questions like, So, is your father still alive? And other similar questions. Then he began to tell me the true purpose of asking me to join him in the hallway. He asked me if I would sign a release form so that he could be free to speak with me anytime concerning my mother's status at the center. I felt pressured even though I knew that was not his intention. He was just performing the part of his job that required him to obtain social history for Geneva and to build a relationship with her family members. The pressure came from knowing I was not the average family member. I explained that I was not sure if I wanted to take long-distance responsibility for her so soon after meeting her. I explained that it had been almost 50 years since I had seen her last, and that I do not really know her. I felt afraid to commit to any responsibility I would have to take from so many miles away. I told him I had been talking with her about moving to Kansas City, to be closer to us, so in which case I would be very comfortable taking full responsibility for her. However, it would be difficult to take care of her when we are in 2 different states. I expressed that if she does not even want to be close to us, then why should I commit to taking any responsibility for her? What he was asking me to do caused me to experience a lot of turmoil, stress, and feelings of guilt the whole time we were talking. The thought of receiving a long-distance phone call that my mother needed help terrified me. I knew I would be limited to how much I could do because of the distance between us. Would I sacrifice time and resources to go to her? Probably not, because I felt like she left years ago because she did not want to be with us. Now she's refusing to live closer to us. So why should I feel obligated at this stage of our lives? Sure, I was enjoying her company during our visit, but that did not mean I wanted this type of responsibility for her, at least not long distance. I told him I would take the form with me, share it with my brothers, and give it some thought. He said that would be okay and gave me his card, which included his cell phone number. He invited me to call him anytime. He confirmed that my mother had a mental illness and he told me her diagnosis. I am purposely not sharing the name of her diagnosis. However, the most common symptoms are delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thinking, abnormal behavior, and not able to function normally. Patients do not necessarily display all the symptoms all of the time. Symptoms range from remission to very severe. As I considered what the counselor was telling me about my mother's mental illness, I was able to recall observing some of these symptoms in my mother. During this moment with the counselor, I also thought back about the times when Ashley and Donna had told me about her occasional resistance to take her medication. I thought about how April and Donna told me that as long as she takes it, she is nice and does not bother anybody. However, if she refuses to take it, her uncontrollable behavior places her at risk of being committed, against her will, to a mental hospital. The counselor went on to explain that one of the main goals of the center was to reunify residents with their family, if possible. He felt like it would be in her best interest to live near her children who loved her and wanted to take good care of her. He encouraged me to stay in touch with her and said that he would do everything he could to encourage her to make an educated decision to come live with us in Kansas City. In the meantime, he would use group sessions to learn more about her desires and let me know her wants and needs so I could provide some things for her. On the happy side, he told me she had an interest in knitting. On the unhappy side, he informed me she had been robbed and was afraid of it happening again. He revealed that was how her stuff that she was telling Erica and I about got misplaced. I paused to think about how a robber had taken her state identification, social security card, birth certificate, and all of her children's information. This was very hurtful to hear. I was distressed to know this horrific thing had happened to my own mother. I know it was impossible for me to have been able to protect her from that, but it did not stop me from wishing I could have. We ended our conversation with him telling me to think about signing the release and to let him know what I decide to do. It was about 15 minutes before the center would be closing when I returned to the lobby. While I was in the hallway talking with the counselor, Erica and Mother had remained in the lobby and continued to talk. When I entered, Erica was asking her one question after another, her face flushed with anticipation of what each answer would be. How did you find out your adoptive mother was not your real mother? Did you ever want to meet your real mom? What can I call you? Grandmother? Nanny? Nana? What was it like when you first met my mom and her brothers? Were you surprised? What is your favorite childhood memory? I sat down and listened with much interest as Mother happily answered every one of Erica's questions. The smile and proud look on my mother's face let me know she was enjoying her talk with Erica. In response to the questions, she said she was 16 years old when she found out she was adopted, but she did not care because she was used to living with the woman who she called mother. She said she had the opportunity to meet her biological mother. As far as what name Erica could call her, she said she would prefer for Erica to just make it simple and call her Geneva. I felt a bit sad for my daughter because I believed she expected to be able to use some sort of endearment term to refer to her newly found grandmother. Erica later said she was okay with it and that she did not care. I don't really see her as my grandmother anyway, she said. However, I still felt gloomy because I knew she was missing the experience of having a normal grandmother-granddaughter relationship with my mother. I felt surprised, yet grateful when Erica asked the question about how Mother felt when she met us. That is something I would never have had the courage to ask. Mother admitted she was surprised and shocked when we showed up. I didn't know really what to say when they first came there, because I don't usually have company. I never had real company, so I didn't know what to say, she said. I was very interested in what she had to say about meeting us for the first time. Finally, she shared her favorite childhood memory. She told Erica and me, "Mother and Father bought me a bike. I would see other kids riding their bikes on this hill and I wished I could ride a bike. So I saw this bike in this yard. I said, I'm going to learn how to ride a bike. So I picked it up and went up the hill with the other kids. I went up and down, until I finally learned how to balance the bike. I was so happy, I didn't know what to do. I was telling my girlfriend and some other kids, I learned how to ride a bike." She continued, "My mother had told me to stay off bikes. She would say, 'You might fall and hurt yourself.' I did fall, and the bike didn't even have brakes on it. I took a chance trying to learn and skinned my knee. But I said I don't care. I know how to ride a bike now." We all laughed. She continued her story. All of a sudden, I got afraid. I said, "Oh my God. My mother's gonna know that I was on the bike." My knee was skinned up. I said, "I don't care. I know how to ride a bike." So when I got home, I was trying to hide it. Mother said, "How did you get that scar?" I said, "Oh, I just fell." I didn't tell her about the bike. She put some peroxide on it to clean it. She felt sorry for me, so she didn't spank me that time. So about 2 weeks after that, Mother and Father surprised me with a new bike. I said, "That's all mine?" We had a large backyard. My mother wanted me to ride it in the backyard. I said, "You don't ride bikes in the backyard." I wanted to ride on the street. The other kids rode theirs on the street. Little by little, I eased up and started riding on the sidewalk. Then little by little, I eased to the street. My mother put a bell and a basket on it. So if I had to go to the store for her, she let me ride the bike. When my mother finished telling us her new bike story, she explained that she had to ease from the backyard to the street when she got her first pair of skates, too. Before she got her own pair, she had found an abandoned pair on the sidewalk and put them on. Her mother asked her where she got them. She answered, "From the sidewalk. Nobody wants them or they wouldn't have left them out here." her mother made her put them back. Soon after, she received her first pair of new skates. 3 o'clock came and our visit ended with all of us laughing about my mother's skate story. As we were preparing to walk out, I felt proud of Erica for asking so many questions that I would not have thought to ask. I felt elated that my mother was feeling comfortable enough to provide responses. We walked with Mother as she carried her backpack to the elevator to get on the bus heading back to the boarding home. As Mother was getting on the elevator, we told her we would be coming to visit her later that evening. We went back to our hotel, ate a late lunch, and got some rest. By then, it was time for us to go visit Mother. Nothing notable happened during that visit. We just sat in the living room, engaged in small talk, and looked at the movie that was on the television. We also looked at some more pictures. After a nice and relaxing visit, Erica and I went out for dinner, returned to our hotel, and retired to our rooms for the night. As I lay my head on my pillow to rest for the night, I swirled in my mind what that day had brought about. I learned the true purpose of the center, that it was not merely a place for fun activities, but behavior therapy. We had the wonderful opportunity to talk to my mother, laugh with her, ask her many questions, and listen as she shared loving memories from her childhood. I got the chance to tell her all about the Kansas City assisted living facility I had in mind for her. Most of all, one of my goals for the trip was fulfilled. I finally found out how my mother truly felt about moving to Kansas City. I was finally able to stop worrying and relax, accepting that she is okay where she is for now. Like she said, you never know what the future may hold.
If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.